Hi everybody. Thank you for joining us on Landscape Rescue. I'm Stuart Moore and I'm back at Affinity Estates, and remember this flower bed right here, this monstrosity that was just nothing but gravel. We planted some hardy hibiscus in here. We had 3 different varieties of hardy hibiscus in here, and we also planted some drift roses. Now this is the one, I don't know if you remember, that has 2 layers of weed barrier. Fantastic, right? I was actually walking through the garden center at Walmart and I found some Maynight Salvia, which you know that's a favorite of mine. I love the salvia. And I found these, if I can pull the tag off, you gotta put a little stank on it.
And put some stank on it!
I found these for $3. So for $3, I got a 1-gallon Maynight Salvia, which is about half price. Which is okay because there's nothing really detrimental. It looks like they dried out. When I'm picking out plants from the clearance rack, a lot of times I look at the top growth. What does the top growth look like? So all these brown, leaves, and I'll tell you what, good luck killing a Maynight Salvia. I sprayed some of it with Roundup.
But why?
At my house, oh geez Louise, I was on like a Bermuda grass tangent, and I was just going after everything. And man, I hit it. I put the cup right on top of it and just smacked it.
Smack it.
And realized what I had done, went and got the garden hose, washed it off. It died all the way down to the ground, and now it's the same size. So then it came back up. So when I see something like a Maynight Salvia, on the clearance for $3 in a 1-gallon pot, I go ahead and I pick it up. It doesn't scare me, right? Because I know I'm going to inoculate it with beneficial fungus, beneficial bacteria. We're going to use the 2-year fertilizer tablets. Echinacea, so sombrero purple coneflower. That might not show up. I don't know. So you can see the difference, right? So this would be like a 1-gallon that you typically see, and that's kind of like a super one. That's what the 1-gallon pots looked like when I was a kid. I think it's gonna look fantastic in here with sombrero. I got some different Echinacea to pop in. I've got some sundown Echinacea in here, which is more of an orange color, like a reddish orange. And this double scoop orange berry. Double scoop orange berry is the other one I've got. And so I got 10 of them. I just kind of mixed them and matched them. But I think this is going to be great for this space because it gets hot. It's in gravel. Echinacea likes it hot. Echinacea likes gravel. I actually lost an Echinacea, which I didn't think was a possibility at my house. A Cheyenne Echinacea I lost because it just got too much water. It's kind of in a low spot and it rotted out on me. So that's what we're gonna do here. And so I got 12 of those Maynight Salvia for $3.
Or are you having like a hard time with money right now or something?
Oh, huge deal. Now granted, commercially viable, maybe if you took it home, you cut it back, you took it home, you watered it for a little while, then you could probably use it on a job and charge the customer full price. But for the homeowner, from the homeowner standpoint, from the gardener standpoint, I can put that in the ground. In 3 weeks, that thing's going to be, you're not going to be able to tell I paid $3 for it, right? And even if I go to a local garden center with the wholesale price, it's still $6 to $7. So I still got those Maynight Salvia on a lot better deal than I would have gotten it with wholesale, about 50% less than wholesale, which is about typically somewhere around 40% off of retail. And a significant amount off of retail, which when you go to Home Depot, when you go to Lowe's, when you go to, Walmart, I found those at Walmart. And I haven't necessarily placed them all yet, but I've kind of got this drift right through here with the drift roses. And then over here, I've got a couple more with some drifts, and then we're just kind of gonna fill this in. So the approach for customers is that way. This flower bed, the approach, they come up around the hill, and then they park in the parking lot. And this is a big empty gravel bed that is slowly but surely not as empty anymore. And I'm really impressed with how it's shaping up. but it still has a lot of work. We still have a lot of work. So, you know, $200 here, $200 there. Keep up with the pre-emergent, keep up with the, you know, the post-emergent. Never compromise. Always use beneficial fungus and beneficial bacteria. Always use fertilizer tablets, and that's what's going to keep this place from being a maintenance nightmare. So now we can improve, you know, these high visibility areas a couple plants at a time. I'm telling you, when you start getting folks on board with improving their landscape, right? It's a drug. They get hooked on it. They see what you can do, and a lot of times it takes a second for them to, you know, you've got to do a space for them and let them feel you out and find out that they can trust you. Just filling the space with 6 hardy hibiscus started a conversation about putting more plants in there. And now we're putting 12 Maynight Salvia in, we're putting 10 Echinacea in there, and we're just looking for color. This is not a very strong year for them because of COVID, so this is a great year to rebuild, and that's what we're doing with the landscaping. Today is the second day that I've been kind of messing around with this bed here. Always kind of a high traffic area that was a little bit of a source of contention for me because it was right by the main entrance. So when you're designing beds, 3s is always a great option, not because I specifically design in odds. 3 is just kind of that number that seems to work. If I do a triangle at the proper spacing, everything kind of grows together. So it looks full. Ideally, we want to prevent our landscape from looking like an adolescent landscape. We want our landscape to be mature as soon as we can get it there. And that's why beneficial fungus, beneficial bacteria, inoculants, and the 2-year fertilizer tablets are a landscaper or a landscape designer's best friend. That way we can have that happen sooner so we don't have a juvenile landscape, right? So, but it still takes time, but you don't want it to take 5 years, you want it to take 2 or 3. And then ideally, then you can start dialing everything in. So, all right, geez, this flower bed, it's the bane of my existence. Okay, so all the holes have been augered out, so all the holes have been drilled.
That's what she said. Michael.
Everything's been inoculated, and I ran out of fertilizer tablets, so not everything got 2, but everything got at least 1. The 2 layers of weed fabric, the first layer I had to cut. The second layer I just punched through it with the power planer. I didn't even care at this point. I'm pretty tired. So yeah, I mean, it was a couple hours just pulling the gravel away, exposing the weed barrier, pulling the weed barrier back. So anyway, now we're going to plant this. But, you know, 25 plants. I mean, I can kind of see it taking some time, but it's so much easier with mulch. It's so much easier with mulch. Stop using weed barrier. Let's just collectively as a group not use any more weed barrier ever again. All right. Let's get planting now. Everything's done. Let's plant them up.
Darling, you look monogamous. Hey.
right, it's time to go home, pick up the little boy. He's getting off the bus here pretty soon. Thank you very much for coming with me on this, guys. And we'll be giving updates on this bed, the hosta bed, the procession bed for the bride procession. Long story short, I'm out of here before this place gets crazy. It's already crazy. The wedding's not for another 4 hours and it's already crazy. So, all right. Thank you for joining us with Landscape Rescue. My name's Stuart Moore. Thank you very much for letting me into your home to talk about plants.